Hey everyone, welcome back to Phantom Whispers. Tonight, we're traveling to Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, where a business traveler made a mistake that many tourists make. He ignored a warning sign in his hotel room. In Malaysian and Chinese culture, Feng Shui isn't just about furniture placement. It's about spiritual protection. And one of the most important rules is this: never sleep in a room where a large mirror directly faces your bed. Mirrors, they say, trap spirits. They reflect your soul while you sleep, leaving you vulnerable. What happened to a man over 3 nights in a budget hotel would make him never ignore these warnings again. After I tell you his story, I'll explain why Malaysians still take Feng Shui seriously, especially when it comes to mirrors. Stay with me until the end. Let's call him David. He was 32 years old, a sales manager from Singapore, traveling to Kuala Lumpur for a 3-day business conference. He'd booked a budget hotel online. Nothing fancy, just a place to sleep between meetings. The hotel was in Bukit Bintang, the shopping and entertainment district. Convenient, but aging. The kind of place with peeling wallpaper and flickering hallway lights that made you grateful you were only staying a few nights. He checked in late, around 11 p.m., exhausted from the drive. The receptionist, a young Malay woman, handed him the key to room 408, 4th floor. As he turned to leave, she said something that he would later remember. "Sir," she said quietly, "if you're uncomfortable with a room, we can change it. Some guests prefer a different room." David was too tired to ask what she meant. He just nodded, took the key, and headed to the elevator. 4th floor, room 408. He unlocked the door and stepped inside. The room was small, basic. A double bed, a desk, a bathroom, and a television mounted on the wall. Nothing unusual, except for one thing. On the wall opposite the bed, covering almost the entire surface, was a large mirror. It was old, the frame tarnished brass, the glass slightly clouded with age, and it was positioned directly facing the bed. When you lay down, you would see your reflection, clear and unavoidable. David didn't think much of it. He was a practical man. Mirrors were mirrors. He dropped his bag, took a quick shower, and collapsed onto the bed. The mattress was lumpy, the sheets rough, but he was too exhausted to care. He glanced at the mirror one more time before turning off the light. His reflection stared back, dim in the darkness, and then he slept. David woke up around 3 a.m., not gradually, but suddenly, as if someone had shaken him awake. The room was dark, silent. He lay there, disoriented, trying to remember where he was. Kuala Lumpur, hotel, business trip. He turned his head toward the window. The curtains were drawn, but a faint glow from the streetlights outside seeped through the edges, casting a dim, orange light across the room. And then he saw it in the mirror, his reflection. But it wasn't quite right. He was lying on his side, facing the mirror, and his reflection should have been doing the same. But in the mirror, his reflection was sitting up, upright, staring directly at him. David froze. His heart pounded. He blinked hard, trying to clear his vision. A trick of the light, a shadow, something. But when he opened his eyes again, the reflection was still there, sitting up, watching him. He could see the outline of the figure in the dim light, the shape of a head, shoulders, the posture of someone sitting on the edge of the bed. But David was lying down. He hadn't moved. Slowly, terrified, he reached out and turned on the bedside lamp. The room flooded with harsh, yellow light. He looked at the mirror. His reflection was normal now, lying down just as he was. The room was empty, just him, the bed, the mirror. He sat up, breathing heavily, staring at the mirror. Nothing, just his own face, pale and frightened, staring back. He told himself it was a dream, sleep paralysis, exhaustion. He'd heard about that. Your brain waking up before your body, causing hallucinations. That had to be it. He left the lamp on, turned away from the mirror, and tried to sleep. But every time he closed his eyes, he felt it. The sensation of being watched from the mirror by something that looked like him, but wasn't. The next day, David considered changing rooms, but the conference was exhausting, back-to-back meetings, and by the time he returned to the hotel, it was late again. He was too tired to deal with the receptionist, too tired to pack his things and move. He told himself it was nothing. One bad night. Stress. He'd sleep better tonight. He didn't. He woke again at 3 a.m. This time, the lamp was off. He didn't remember turning it off, but it was off. The room was dark, the same dim orange glow from the street, and the mirror. He didn't want to look, but he couldn't help it. He turned his head slowly, his eyes adjusting to the darkness. The reflection was there again, but this time, it wasn't just sitting up. It was standing at the foot of the bed. In the mirror, the figure stood perfectly still, facing him. David could see the outline, a human shape, his shape, but wrong. The posture was too stiff, the head tilted at an unnatural angle, and the eyes. Even in the darkness, he could see the eyes in the reflection. They were open, wide, staring. David's breath came in short, panicked gasps. He wanted to turn on the light, but he couldn't move. He was paralyzed, not by sleep, but by fear. The figure in the mirror didn't move. It just stood there, watching. And then, slowly, it smiled. Not a normal smile. Too wide. The corners of the mouth stretching unnaturally. The teeth visible even in the dim light. David forced himself to move. He lunged for the lamp, his hand shaking, and turned it on. The light blazed. He looked at the mirror. His reflection was normal. He was sitting up in bed, alone, his face pale and sweating. The room was empty, but the air was different, colder, and there was a smell, faint but unmistakable. Rotting flowers, sweet and sickly. He didn't sleep the rest of the night. He sat on the bed, the lamp on, staring at the mirror, waiting for dawn. When the sun finally rose, he went to the bathroom and splashed cold water on his face. In the bathroom mirror, he saw something that made his blood run cold. On his neck, just below his jaw, were marks, red, finger-shaped marks, as if someone had touched him, but no one had been in the room. No one except the reflection. David should have left. He should have checked out, found another hotel, anything. But he had one more night, one more day of meetings. He could survive one more night. This time, he took precautions. He covered the mirror. He used the bed sheet, draping it over the entire surface, tucking the edges into the frame. He couldn't see his reflection anymore. The mirror was hidden. Problem solved. He left the lamp on. He lay down, facing away from the mirror, and closed his eyes. Sleep came slowly, but it came. And then, at 3 a.m., he woke to the sound of fabric tearing. Slowly, deliberately, the sound of something pulling at the sheet covering the mirror. David's eyes snapped open. He didn't move. He lay there, listening. The tearing sound continued, and then it stopped. Silence. And then, a voice, soft, whispering, coming from the direction of the mirror. It sounded like his voice, But it wasn't. It said, "Look at me." David didn't look. He squeezed his eyes shut, his whole body rigid with terror. The voice came again, louder, more insistent. "Look at me." And then he felt it, a weight on the bed, as if someone had sat down next to him. The mattress dipped. He felt the presence, cold and wrong, inches away. And then a breath on his neck, cold, fetid, the smell of decay. David screamed. He leaped out of bed, grabbed his bag, and ran. He didn't look back. He didn't look at the mirror. He ran out of the room, down the hallway, down the stairs. He didn't wait for the elevator, and into the lobby. The receptionist, the same young woman from the first night, looked up, startled. She saw his face, pale and terrified, and she knew. She just nodded slowly. "Room 408, she said quietly. It wasn't a question. David checked out immediately. He didn't ask for a refund. He just left. So what happened in room 408? In Malaysian and Chinese culture, mirrors are more than just reflective surfaces. They're portals, thresholds between the physical world and the spiritual world. When you sleep, your soul is believed to leave your body temporarily, traveling in dreams. If a mirror faces your bed, your soul can become trapped in the reflection, or worse, something else can use the mirror to enter our world, wearing your face. This is why Feng Shui practitioners warn against mirrors facing beds. It's not superstition, it's spiritual protection. In Malaysia, especially in older hotels and homes, you'll often find mirrors covered at night or positioned away from beds. The receptionist knew. She'd offered to change his room. But David didn't understand the warning until it was too late. The entity he encountered, some believe it was a Pontianak, a Malaysian vampire spirit that can mimic appearances. Others say it was a reflection ghost, a soul trapped in the mirror, trying to take his place. Whatever it was, David was lucky. He left before the third night was over, because according to local beliefs, if you see your reflection move independently 3 times, on the third time, it can step out of the mirror, and then you become the reflection, trapped forever. Room 408 is still in use. The hotel never removed the mirror, but locals know. They avoid that room, and when tourists book it, the receptionist always offers, quietly, to change the room. Most don't ask why, but those who stay and who ignore the mirror sometimes check out early, pale, shaken, with marks on their necks they can't explain. What do you think happened to David? Was it a Pontianak, a trapped soul, or something else entirely? Have you ever stayed in a hotel room with a mirror facing the bed? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more true ghost stories from across Asia. Until next time, check your hotel room carefully. Some warnings are worth heeding.